When Nazi German troops broke into European countries, they were drawn to the beauty of women. These strong young men thought day and night about luring these women into their beds, and they were successful in doing so. But little did these men or the women know about the heinous punishments waiting for them. What happened to the women who slept with Nazis? How were they punished? Every woman who slept with Nazis had a story to tell. They went to bed with the invaders to get food and money. They had to do it to survive during the war period. When their husband went to save their homeland, no one looked after them or their children. In the post-war period, these women were caught and dragged to the streets where barbers shaved their heads. These women were called cheaters and traitors. Their family disowned them, and their clothes were torn off in front of everyone, exposing their nakedness. They were not given a single piece of clothing to cover themselves. Instead, they were made to walk on the street while the crowd applauded and laughed at them. No opportunity was given to them to explain themselves. There were several brothels in Paris during that time. The women in brothels were the main aim of the French women. Their hands were tied down, and they were physically abused by men of their homeland. "Sold to Germans" was the slogan that was written on the back of these women's bodies. This was to identify who was involved in sexual acts with the Nazis. These women were seen as the ones who destroyed the purity of their homeland by sleeping with the Nazis. The aggressive men of their homeland were agitated by the news of their women having a promiscuous life. How did they know which women slept with the Nazis? Well, some women were caught red-handed, whereas others were caught due to suspicion. The life of the woman could be destroyed even if a single man doubts her chastity and purity. There were around 200,000 babies born during the war period whose fathers were Germans, out of which 20,000 babies had German citizenship and they were brought up as Germans. The French couldn't see their homeland turning into a mini Germany. They turned all their anger into punishments and inflicted it on the women of France. German-born children were not touched by the French. They had a sympathetic approach towards the children as they didn't do anything for the evil act of their mothers. The French didn't punish much when compared to the Norwegian authorities. Women who slept with the Nazis were imprisoned for 5 years and they had to do hard labor. These women were also sent to institutions to correct their behavior and repent of their actions. The children of the Nazi soldiers became orphans. The cruelest punishment ever received by Norwegian women was that their babies were taken away from them and their names were changed. After finishing their jail time, these women were unable to find their children. They were mentally drained out and broken after not being with their children for 5 years and then not knowing where they were. Around 7,000 children became orphans. These women who fought for their children in court were locked in mental asylums immediately. They were not allowed to see the outside world. They were put in closed buildings and were abused till they died. They were denied a new beginning and they never met their beloved children. To restore the face of the country, they punished all the some who were accused of having sexual relations with the Nazis. In the Netherlands and Poland, the hands of women were orange and they had shaved heads. They were made to kneel on the streets. Unlike France, there was no sympathetic approach to the children of the Nazis. They were also mentally abused by demeaning and degrading their mothers. The morality of their mothers was questioned in front of them. They were treated poorly just like how their mothers were treated. The hands of these women were in orange color to identify them easily. Villagers never missed a single opportunity to curse the women who were traitors and belittle them in front of everyone. These women sold their properties and fled from their country to save themselves from the humiliation. The nasty punishments they received pushed several women to end their lives. Which country brutally punished the women who slept with Nazis? Do you think they were traitors? Let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching.